6. Welcome everybody to this installment of the Jalala Malala Show. Here, my name is Miguel, aka the Tribal Chief, and we're going to be talking about literary theories.
Your mic was off.
What? Nah.
Bro, at this point,
Nah. What's up, cutie?
What's up, Daddy? How you been?
Everything chilling, bro?
Yes, sir. So,
Welcome
good
everybody.
evening and good morning to everyone watching this. Today we're going over the gender queer theory and the Jungian archetype.
Yes,
Miguel,
as you
take it
can
away.
see right now at the moment, we're filming this at 12 in the middle of the night.
In the gym.
So at an empty ass gym, I mean, you're most likely gonna see a bunch of like clips. It's gonna be weird, but it is what it is. Now, speaking to the main point, we're here to talk about the literary theories, specifically gender and queer and Jungian archetype. Jungian archetype is a literary theory that identifies a personality and play a role of a human behavior. So let's say you could show yourself as a metaphorical mask to the people in the world, how you show them. But then also as well, there's a shadow that like how you present yourself, how you feel about yourself. Now with the metaphorical mask, it basically hinting of how you want people to see you. Basically, let's say for example, I have a metaphorical mask that like I want everybody to see me as a happy-go-lucky guy. I'm not depressed, nothing is wrong with my life. But you know, sometimes it could like with each person, like they're obviously going through some deep shit. Sorry for the cursing, but that's how it is. Like you never know what they're going through, but it's just like they don't present themselves as that way because they don't like they find it like uncomfortable and like they don't want people to see their issues. So where Jungian theory and gender queer theory ties up is this accepting oneself. So many people have struggles expressing who they really are. Like they will use this metaphorical mask to hide who they really are, but at the same time they can't really explain how they feel, or they can't express their true self to either their family, their friends, or the whole world in general.
Sammy and Montrose are two prominent gay figures in HBO's Lovecraft Country. Now, if you've watched a lot of HBO shows, you'll know that HBO has gotten some criticism from many people about the depiction of gay characters. This show is not an exception. In the show, Sammy and Montrose are only ever really featured when they're having a sex scene. And now this is a problem because HBO usually only shows gay characters when they are engaged in sexual. Now, on top of this, the criticism is somewhat deserved because when you do watch Lovecraft Country, a lot of the times when they are in a scene where they're shown being affectionate, it is usually accompanied by a sexual encounter. But I also do feel like in this case, it kind of makes sense because Lovecraft Country takes place near the end of the Jim Crow era and the beginning of the Civil Rights Movement. So at the time, you know, obviously if you were an African American back then, it was hard. So imagine being queer and African American. That must be hell. You can't even be yourself out in the open, you know? So I do get why they show this, but I also do understand the criticism. But for me, I feel like that is a very immersive, you know, it could be a mistake, but I feel like it's immersive, you know? I feel like that shows, you know, just how secretive things have to be because they are closeted characters at the end of the day. They're not allowed to be themselves out in the open. And in fact, a lot of these characters are not allowed to be themselves out in the open because of the era this show takes place in. And if you are aware of the author, H.P. Lovecraft, you would know that he is an extremely racist man. His books, when you read them, you're like, wow, how is this guy allowed to write this and sell it? You know?
While Jungian archetype also follows the belief that there's major archetypes that people fall into, basing their personality, while genderqueer studies is the belief of there's a social structure, right? How one sexual identity affects their place in the world and their identity. Those two ideas coincide to this much broader idea of one's personality, one's image, one's place in the world. For one of the best examples of Jungian archetype would be the Dr. Jackal, Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson, right? Which in the book and in the movie, if you want to get specific, there's a doctor. His name is Dr. Jackal, right? Dr. Jackal lives as a very respected doctor in his community. One day, out of the blue, his alter ego, Hyde, comes out. Now, the contrast between Dr. Jekyll and Hyde is that Hyde is his negative self. It is his worst attributes, his negativity, his nihilism, his total aspect of the world is horrible. It is not a fun place to be in. While Jackal, his persona is how he presents himself to his community. It's not really his true identity as it's made to seem. It seems that he himself is struggling to accept the identities of himself. By the end of the film, Dr. Jackal and Hyde combine into one's true self, and Dr. Jackal is able to live with his negativity, his positivity, as he accepts that even if, right, my personality is good, positive, right, and my outlook on the world is great, Hyde thinks the opposite, but that's not a problem, because in everyday life, to truly accept yourself, you need to understand your flaws, but also your strengths. By combining both of those ideas of yourself, you become what Jungian believes is the true self. You're able to balance out your negativity while finding enlightenment in the positive, allowing you to express your true self in your life. All right, like we did for the last month for class, we all here watched Game of Thrones season 1. We may have continued more into the other season. Some of us may have stopped in the beginning of the season. But two notable examples of queer and gender studies in Game of Thrones would be with the couple of
Renly and Loras. Renly and Loras are two prominent characters in Game of Thrones season 1, which are shown to, really start off the relationship throughout the season. In this one scene in episode 5, Loras is seen talking to Renly about how he'd make a great king and someday he'd fight for him. However, Loras is not at that point where he can really come out towards society, because in Game of Thrones it's through the medieval era, and medieval era is not particularly fond of diversity.
It's not like the Roman era.
Loras is seen shaving Renly's body hair, and while he talks about how he would make a great king and he'd fight for him, the scene ends with Renly performing oral sex towards Loras.
Now, what we could decipher in this text is that, one, right, that there is a power imbalance, not in terms of their relationship, but of their identity, right? Unlike the Roman era, where homosexuality was actually praised, and their relationship kind of defines it, with one being the weaker, more feminine man, the other one is more masculine, like typical. That's a very stereotypical gay idea, right? Of one man being more feminine while the other man's more masculine. That's a good point of genderqueer studies, because that goes over those principles. Why do these stereotypes exist? But it also introduces it in a very natural and condensed way, where it feels like it's not forced, it's more natural, and it's to bring about a point, right? Why isn't this accepted in society, in this universe already, and why isn't it seen so fondly in our current worldview? Right? There's a very huge power imbalance in their structure, right? It is challenging the world's current status norms of the universe of Game of Thrones, that, hey, what we usually see is either, I'm gonna be blunt here, incest, a lot of incestual relationships, as well as more traditional relationships to male and female. With these queer characters, it challenges that norm of, hey, look, sex isn't just binary, male and female. It could be non-binary of male, right? With anything. It challenges those notions.
What's up, handsome? I missed you, brother. Sorry, man.
So, cutie?
What's up, daddy? I haven't seen you in a minute.
So have you, bro? How you been?
I've been alright,
out here chilling, man, gotta take
Alright, let's retake that.
We gotta restart it. As well is the reason why. I already set the title up. I know, my bad, Lazaro. Like, I know you guys want to get the out of here. Fuck.
No, keep going. I'm having fun.
What is this guy doing? Oh my god.
And archetype also cover the idea of genderqueer studies. That sounds, that sounded bad. No. What is he doing? Is he still wrestling?
Lazaro.
Okay.
This is like you were like you kind of f***ed up their like introduction. They were recording.
No, it's okay.
It's okay.
Because I f***ed up.
Private. However, things get a bit heated when Renly performs. I don't know if we should put should we put that part
Oral
in?
sex. It's okay to say
Okay.
oral sex in media, right? It's not like we're saying they're f***ing each other, they're going at it, right? Like it's all hot and steamy. No, if you say it respectfully, oral sex.
Okay.
It's. Would it be shush?
I know, but on my part.
No, that's wrong. No. Well, that wraps up for this episode 1 of the Jalala Balala show. Hope you guys have a really good one and take care. There we go.
That wraps up.